President Trump on Wednesday castigated his former chief strategist Stephen K. Bannon as a self-aggrandizing political charlatan who has lost his mind, marking an abrupt and furious rupture with the one-time confidant that could have lasting political impact on the November midterms and beyond. The White House's sharp public break with Bannon, which came in response to unflattering comments Bannon made about Trump and his family in a new book about his presidency, left the self-fashioned populist alienated from his chief patron and even more isolated in his attempts to remake the Republican Party by backing insurgent candidates. Late Wednesday, lawyers for Trump sent a cease and desist letter to Bannon, arguing he violated the employment agreement he signed with the Trump Organization in numerous ways and also likely defamed the president. They ordered that he stop communicating either confidential and/or disparaging information, and preserve all records in preparation for imminent legal action. You have breached the agreement by, among other things, communicating with author Michael Wolff about Mr. Trump, his family members, and the company, disclosing confidential information to Mr. Wolff, and making disparaging statements and in some cases outright defamatory statements to Mr. Wolff about Mr. Trump, his family members, and the company, read the letter from lawyer Charles Harder. In a lengthy statement issued in the afternoon, Trump blamed Bannon, his former campaign manager and chief strategist who now heads the conservative Breitbart News website, for everything from leaks to the news media to the upset GOP loss in last month's Senate race in Alabama. The president cast Bannon as a disgruntled former staffer whose chief goal is to stir up trouble. "Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency," the statement said. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. The White House also released a statement from the First Lady's office condemning the forthcoming book, Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House, by Michael Wolff as a title to be found in the bargain fiction bin, while the Republican National Committee said Wolff has a long history of making stuff up. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, meanwhile, devoted much of her Wednesday news briefing Wednesday to disputing Wolff's claims and seeking to undermine Bannon's credibility. The response was a marked departure from mid-October, when Trump called Bannon a friend of mine and said he understood his perspective. But the much-anticipated account of life in Trump's White House caught the president and his West Wing team off guard, with the president huddling with White House Communications Director Hope Hicks, one of his most trusted advisors, and Sanders to craft the fiery statement, after calling friends for much of the morning. Aides thought they had more time to prepare for the book's formal release. Trump spent much of the day raging about the book to top aides, officials and advisors said, and Sanders described the president as furious and disgusted. As he fumed, some aides were still frantically searching for a copy of the book, and even senior aides such as Hicks had not seen it by the afternoon, officials said. "He's out of control," one person with knowledge of Trump's comments said.